Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I wish to talk about addicted to our own dramas. Or we can even say hooked onto our own dramas. Dramas that are playing out at a subconscious, unconscious, or rather non conscious levels, which we are not even aware of, but we are definitely a part of them, a participant of them, a creator of them even. So before we delve into the aspect of hooked onto our own dramas, let's first understand what drama entails. And as many of us would have the conscious thought that dramas are like those TV soap operas, or they are the movies, or they are the plays that we see. It's all just an entertainment that we derive our guilty pleasures from. And yet, if we dissect the many layers of drama, it reveals that it contains a storyline, character, and role plays. A solo enactment at times that actually projects a conflict between the self inside. At times, it also contains many characters that are constantly enacting their roles, their parts, and their identities with regards to those parts that have been prescribed to them by the narrator. It also contains plots and twists and turns in those plots. It has at times situations that are repeating themselves because the characters have definite, defined role plays that they identify with, that they project, and that they portray. It also has movement, language, both verbal and non-verbal. It has mood, it has atmosphere, it also has conflicts, agendas of those characters, agenda of the storyline, an audience, some or many dramatic tensions, emotions, feelings, thoughts, and so much more, which is also beautifully interwoven in very nuanced ways. In fact, in my understanding, it's nothing more than the interpretation of life itself. So, given those aspects of dramas, is it then just related to screens? Does it not even play out from very personal spaces to interpersonal spaces on the global level as well? Does it not play out from within the homes and family dynamics to every community, social, political, national, international levels as well? Is it then not played out from boardrooms to bedrooms, from politics to religion, from national to international stage? Is it then even not witnessed in the cartoon series or even in the Animal Planet that we see? Wherein there's a story of the hunter and the one being hunted, of the one chasing and the one being chased, of hide and seek, of running and escaping, and even of confronting. And as I reflected on that in hindsight, I even realized that the recent cricket match between Australia and between India was also a drama being played out. It had all the emotions, it had all the feelings, it had the story of the winner and of the loser, it had the story of a conflict and the storyline of a battlefield. It had many players, many characters that were all doing their role play, the role play that they essentially identified with. It had turns and twists in the plot, and it was equally gripping, not just for the players, but for the audience as well, and not just the audience that was present in the stadium, but the audience that was even seeing the match, the game, the drama unfold across the world through their own TV screens. And unconsciously and amazingly enough, many people were having similar thoughts, whether they were sitting on one side of the screen or whether they were present in the stadium watching the match, watching the drama unfold, or whether it was the participants in the drama itself. And in some ways, invariably, millions of people were a participant in that drama. And that's not to say that the drama that was being played out, that the drama that was being told, was being unfolded, was not captivating. It was captivating, it was engaging, but for many of us, it was happening at a very unconscious level. It was happening wherein we did not even realize that we are witnessing a drama unfolding. And metaphorically, unconsciously, these dramas keep playing out in our interactions, in our interpersonal and intrapersonal lives. And quite naturally, by their very nature, drama is very addictive, for it encapsulates the highs and the lows and everything in between, the happenings of our lives. And since we are operating almost all the time from 97% subconscious and unconscious, all of this is happening at a very unconscious, subconscious level. And as I reflected on that through the analogy of the match, I even realized a few things. First, that humans are pretty contagious by nature. Or maybe the very nature of human beings is pretty contagious, both in pleasant and not so pleasant ways. Which is why they also say that beware of the company that you keep, that you surround yourself with. I also realize that to a certain degree, we all are addicted to our own dramas, to the narrations of our dramas, to the storyline of our drama, to the habitual, to the familiar twists and turns of the plots of that drama, to the habitual, to the familiar role plays that we have enacted in our own narration, in the narration that we participate in the narration that we co-create, in the narration of the idea of our identity with regards to our family, with regards to our community, with regards to our religion, with regards to our nationality, with regards to our internationality, and to a degree in the narration that was subconsciously created while we were growing up. And as it said in one of the ancient Indian texts, that the world is a Maya. In fact, the entire universe is a Maya, an illusion, even when it feels real. Exactly in the way that that particular match or many matches on many playfields feels very personal on some level when they are being played out. Exactly like the hunt that we witness in the Animal Planet, that at times feels so real that we are almost biting our nails or sitting on the edge of the seat. At times holding our breath or breathing a sigh of relief. And so, probably, if the entire world and the entire universe is a Maya, is a dramatic playfield, wherein the drama is constantly unfolding itself. Maybe it's accepting that with grace without condemning it, to even accepting that we at times are even addicted to our own dramas. We are hooked onto our own dramas, to our own stories, to the narrations of those stories, with an underlying emphasis to the reality that all of us are participant in that, unconsciously, non consciously. And since yet every drama has plots, twists and turns to those plots, and since we are the participants and the narratives of those stories, both on personal and interpersonal levels, once we become aware of the dramas, of our own co created dramas, we can begin to change the plot lines. We can begin to change the subtexts of those dramas, thereby changing the characters and the role plays of those dramas as well. For it is only when we gradually start to become self aware that we actually can think about free will. Can we actually consider bringing about some changes? Because quite naturally, we cannot bring about any change till we are not even aware of what changes do we want to bring about in our own narratives, in our own storylines. Just the way we see it happening in movies, just the way we see it happening even in commercials, just the way we see it happening in matches, just the way we see it happening in policies and in politics. For even those have an intermission, a second half, a penalty shootout, or a tiebreaker. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza would say, break the habit of being you, or rather, the addiction of being addicted to your own idea of yourself, or the narration or the storyline of yourself, or the role play of yourself. But it can only be done through gradually becoming more and more self aware, through reflection, through introspection, through contemplation, through self evaluation, to eventually come to an understanding that if the entire universe or the working of the universe is dramatic, is a drama, that the world is a drama, that we are equally a narrator and the participant of the dramas that we create within ourselves and in our interpersonal relationships. We also, at least as grown ups, have the choice to choose our dramas, to even choose the dramas that we wish to interact and play with and within, to even understand when it's time for an intermission or a second half, to even understand that the narration and the plots of the story can always be turned, can always be twisted. So let's take the time to reflect on the dramas of our own participation, of our own co-creation, of our action and the interaction between the characters and the role players of these dramas. For it is only when we start to do that can we break away from the habit of being ourselves, can we break the addiction to our own dramas. And of course, that can only begin by knowing thyself. And maybe knowing thyself is the most important journey we take within our own selves. Let's try and do that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.